And also unshare, start the recording, and
Yeah, I started
start
it.
it. Yeah, please. Thanks.
You want to give an overview? Then I'll.
I gave the overview. I thought it's
Yes.
already started. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you go ahead. Arun.
Okay. Fine. Good evening to all. Last session we saw about the DICOM introduction, where we saw the what is DICOM and image structure, and then image attributes, all the things. And in this session, we are going to see about the DICOM web services and the Arctung DICOM server, and we'll see a couple of tools also, how to use the tools in our development phase uh, as a simulator. Okay. So in this session, we'll be seeing about couple of some 4-5 tools. There are 4 DICOM tools we will be seeing it. One is the Arthang, and the next one is the DVTK. The next one is DCMTK DICOM toolkit and micro DICOM. And apart from the DICOM toolkit, we'll be using the Postman also to see the web services, all the things. And here we'll see basically the DICOM and Firetrack workflow thing, integration workflow. How can we apply the tools into that workflow? Okay. Yeah. So this actually Anand has given an overview in the first session about what we are going to achieve as part of this track. So I'll give an application of the tools where we will use it. So if you see here in the modality, this is the modality a patient has been admitted to the hospital, and the modality from the modality, the scheduling will be happen on the modality, and the scanning or something, scanning of images will be happened, and then it will be archived through the archiving station, and then it will be sent to the AI algorithm to detect the lesion size and other findings, and report it via the SR to the patch server. And then whatever has been reported, that will be converted into the observations, the DICOM SR, and it will be given to the Fire server. And from the Fire server, the referring physician can check the converted fire observations, the SR object, fire objects in his tablet or in his viewing station. Okay, this is the basic workflow what Anand has said, and he also said what is the applicability of the tools we'll be using over here to simulate all the things. So the same thing actually now we'll be using the DCMTK and DVTK, and then for the modality and for the Arthang will be for the patch server will be using the Arthang, and for the AI algorithm processing thing, we won't process the algorithms. We already have the processed images and everything. Only we'll be seeing how the images has been communicated and how the SR has been communicated back, and how we are able to use the DICOM web interface to fetch the data from the patch server. Okay, with that one we'll stop here, and the applicability of the tools. Okay, so here if you see that in this slide, we are going to see about the DICOM tool where it is used. And there are different actors is there as per the IHE profile, then the transactions are available. And the actor is PAX, which is an archiving station or vendor neutral archive. For this, we will be using the Arthang as a tool which is capable of doing the transactions, DICOM conventional store, search and retrieve operations, and it able to serve the DICOM web search transaction and then DICOM web retrieve transactions. And if you want to download the tool is a free of cost, which is downloadable from the web, and the web address link has been given over here. From this link, you can download it. Okay, so for the training purpose, what I did, I downloaded all the tools and I put it in on Azure setup, and the reference images and everything for the training purpose upfront. Okay, and for the modality, we will be using the DVTK tool, okay, which acts as a storage SU simulator, which acts as a modality also. From the modality, we will be sending the images to the packs, and then the AI DICOM AI DICOM SR generator, and then the DICOM view. Okay, so we'll be using the modality as DVTK as the modality, and this guy is capable of doing the transaction conventional DICOM store, and then we will be using the DVTK, which acts as a storage CP to store the images on behalf of the AI DICOM SR generator actor. So which serves the transaction conventional store again. And then we'll be using the Postman over here to give an insight of the DICOM web search and retrieve transactions. So we will be using the Postman. Postman is not a DICOM toolkit, which can be used as a testing tool to see the web communication details and everything. Okay, so we will be using it over here for the purpose, for the same purpose. And for a DICOM viewer, we will be using the micro DICOM as a DICOM viewer. Okay, so this is the thing about the DICOM tools, what we are going to see in this session. Please feel free to interact with me in the mid of the sessions and interrupt me wherever you have doubts. And here, now, all these transactions, whatever we seen in the previous slide, all these things has been defined in the DICOM standards in the DICOM document, which is called as DICOM parts. So for all these things, you need to refer, you need to have this DICOM parts in handy, this 6 DICOM parts in handy. Part 3.3, which defines the information object definitions, which defines the DICOM objects, basically the images or SR or presentation state. All these things has been defined in this thing, and how the DICOM files can be generated and stored, that has been defined in part 3.10. And then the communications between the DICOM applications has been defined in 3.4 and 3.8. In 3.4, the conventional way of communications has been defined. And in 3.18, the web services has been defined. And if you want to see about the attributes or any of the fields, patient ID, patient name, and the study description, series description, all these things, if you want to see the details, you need to have part 3.5 and part 3.6 handy. Why I given it here as a reference is, being a developer, when you develop a application which do all these transactions, we need to have these documents handy with us to be compliant with the DICOM. Okay, in order to make our software compliant with the DICOM. Okay, so this is the thing. And now let's see about the CUDA RS such transactions. So this CUDA RS such transactions, there are different types of transactions has been defined over here, which is a web transaction. We can query for all studies of a particular patient or particular studies series, or we can query for the studies instance, or we can, and we can also query for the all the series, and also we can query for the all the study series as instances, or all the instances of a given patient or study or anything. Okay, these are the different levels. I won't go in detail. So before I go to the next slide, the next slide defines about the search transaction URI templates. And these are the URI templates which has been defined by the DICOM in the part 3.8 under section 10.6 search transactions. Okay, so I'll go and explain you from the application itself. How can we use the application and everything? So if you see, as I told you, I already installed Rthang here and the Postman here, and then the web viewer, DICOM viewer, and then the DVTK tool also over here. Okay, so if you want to launch the Rthang, you can launch the Rthang after the installation. You can launch it from here and open the Rthang Explorer. Will open the Rthang Explorer for you. Okay, this will here I'll explain you how to upload the patient and how to send the patients, because this Rthang basically acts as a PACS or archiving station for us. Okay, this Rthang has a set of configurations where we can configure the DICOM AETs and the DICOM related services and everything. Okay, I'll tell you where to go and configure the services and all the things. Okay, if you want to have the services defined, you can go here, edit Rthang settings. It will open the settings configuration thing in the file explorer. If you go to this file explorer, our interest will be these two JSON files. This configurations, basically they defined it under the JSON files configurations only. So our interest in this session will be the rthang.json file and then the DICOM web.json file. I'll just open the rthang.json file and explain you some of the key factors over here, which is of interest for this session. Okay. So if you see this, there's a JSON basically. In this JSON structure, if you go down, no need to see everything over here. If you go down here, it has been defined the port number on which we can open the Rthang URL. Okay, and also it has defined the DICOM AET for the Rthang. The AET for the AET is nothing but application entity title. Okay, which is a name or which is a from a communication point for this Rthang's application. Okay, so it has an AET called Rthang, and if you want, we can change the AET name also. I just kept the default AET name over here, and then the default port number they use 4242 port number to for any kind of communications, DICOM communications. Okay, this port number also we can change it to any port number, and we can open the port for the communications. Okay, so these are the two things basically for the conventional DICOM communications. And if I want to configure the other nodes, modality and all, you can go down bit. Here, actually, if you see here I configured two DICOM nodes. These are just a sample they are given it. Okay, so as I told you in the transactions here in the previous slide, I told you different things, right? DVTK, and we are using for the storage SCU and then for the storage SCP. So for that purpose only, here I configure two things. One is as the SCP, which acts as the AI algorithm processing thing, and the other thing which acts as a modality simulator. Okay, and these two guys, this modality simulator SCU, if you see here, I just use the same port number within the same system. Two applications cannot listen to the same port number. Why I used here means just as a dummy I used here, SCU doesn't need any port number to listen for. Okay, so just as a dummy thing I used over here. If we configure any SCP service, all the SCP service should have the unique port number within the system if it is running within the system. Okay, so if you see here, it's running within this system with this AET. This is the AET of the SCP thing, where and the modality simulator thing AET is modality underscore sumu SU. Okay, so after this configurations, web configuration you'll see here. So this is the DICOM web configuration. Okay, here it defines about the web configuration and everything. It defines whether it supports, whether we want to support the web related communication, DICOM web related communications or not. If you want to support, we need to give it as true, and then the Vado root is /Vado, and this host actually I given it as a local host. This will be sent in the search transaction response. The URL will be sent how to retrieve the data. That data URL will be sent. In that URL, this whatever host name I'm giving it here, that will be added here. I'll show you what is the thing, and this is the root for the DICOM web. Okay, I'll show you when I'm running the application. You will come to know all these things. Okay, after these configurations, what I need to do, this needs to be get reflected in the application. So for that purpose, for that one, there is a service has been installed by the Arthang installation, which is called as Arthang service. This service needs to be restarted from the service manager after any configuration changes to get the configuration changes reflected in the Arthang application. Got it? Okay. Now let's see in detail about the, here if you see here already I uploaded some patients. Okay, for the, because if I upload these patients during the session, it will take long time. I'll show you how to upload the patient also. Here there is an upload button is there. You can upload it from a file location. Okay, you can select the files from where you want to upload. Okay, so here I'll upload this patient and I'll delete it also afterwards, and I'll show how to use the modality to send this images. Okay, so now all these patients, all these DICOM objects, I opened it. Now I do start upload. It will upload the patient. It has been uploaded, and the patient, if you see here, it will be available over here. This is the patient what I was talking about. Just give me a minute. I'll see whether, yeah. This is the patient what I was talking about, which has a DICOM image, which is a CT image, and then SR and PR, which we just now uploaded it. So what I'll do here, I'll delete this patient. Okay, now I'll use the modality simulator to send the same patient to the Arthang. Okay, so I'm deleting this patient. Okay, the patient has been deleted over here. Okay, now I'll use the modality simulator. The modality simulator, what we use, what we are going to use it is storage SCP emulator of the DVTK toolkit. Okay, if you see here in this one, the configurations which I already made it. I want to send the DICOM objects to the remote EE called DICOM EE. Okay, and which is running under the local host. Either I can give the IP address or the host name also over here, and which is listening in the port 4242, which we saw in the configuration file just now, what I gave 4242. Okay, so this is the thing, and model, this is the AET which I configured over there in the Arthang as the modality simulator AET. Okay, so here we can do the DICOM echo also, or we can do a simple ping to the port also. If I do a ping is successful for this Arthang, and DICOM echo, there is a service class, conventional service class is available, which actually does a DICOM ping to the Arthang application. Okay, so if you go here and see that it has done a ping and then it has received the response also, which the service what we use is C echo request is the DICOM ping service. Okay, which has been used over here. Okay, so now let's see how the images can be communicated back to this thing or can be sent. Okay, if you click on the file, you can directly select a source directory and then send it, or you can select particular files and send it, or you can select a DICOM dir and you can send it. If you select a DICOM dir, what will happen? Whatever the DICOM objects referenced by the DICOM dir will be sent to the destination. Okay, so now here what we'll see about, we'll select the DICOM files. Let us assume that the modality has occurred here. Most of the steps I'm doing it manually. The modality has occurred the images, and it is going to send the images to the server. Okay, so whatever the images I opened it last time, whatever I send it, the same images I'll send it now. Okay, so all the images has been transmitted over here. If you refresh it, you'll get that actually. Okay, now let's see how can I send this to the, if you see here in this thing, modality, in turn modality of the packs will be sending the images to the DICOM SR generator, which is where we are using the DICOM TK as the DICOM TK toolkit as a store SCP emulator, okay, which will receive the images. Okay, so if you go to the Arthan, from the Arthan you can do the DICOM send also. So for that one, there is a button called as send to DICOM modalities. Whatever the modalities I configured there, this is the modalities what are configured there, right, in the config file. So I want to send it to the DVTK STR SCP. Okay, but I am not running that thing. I'll go and run that application also. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, this is the storage SCP simulator, and this simulator is nothing but that AI algorithm simulator. Okay, we are not doing any AI algorithm over here, which just serves as a storage SCP purpose over here. Okay, here this its own AET is called as DVTK STR SCP, and the remote AE configuration is Arthan. We are saying here that we can receive the data from Arthan. Okay, and this guy is going to listen on the port 104 port. Okay, and if you see here on the storage thing, storage files, I configured the file configurations over here. Okay, whatever the DICOM objects it receives, it should store in some place, right, in the file system. So for that only this things. Okay, so I had given the location, this location from here, and for the DICOM object storage also I given the same location. Okay, so the validation results and then the DICOM objects both will be stored at the same location. Okay, so if we go here, I have the location over here which is available for me, which is an empty folder. Okay, now I'll start this thing. When I start, it will listen to the 104 port with the AET name as DVTK STR SCP. Okay, I started it. It started listening on the port. Okay, once it started listening on the port, it has put the results over here. Okay, now what I'll do here, I'll send the objects to this guy. Okay, so when I send the objects to this guy, if you see here, the objects has been received and then it has been stored over here. Okay, it has received the DICOM association request. Okay, and then it accepted the request. Here the request has received and the association request has been accepted. Once it has been accepted, it receives the CStore request for each and every DICOM object. Okay, so there are 3 DICOM objects. For the 3 DICOM objects it's received and then it stored the objects over here. Okay, this is the traditional conventional way of using this thing, and this explains about the CStore request. Okay, so now going to the slides back. Now let's see in detail about the CUDA or search transactions. Okay, so how can we use these transactions and everything, we'll see it. So if I want to retrieve a study, not retrieve, if I want to retrieve the metadata of the study, or if I want to query for a study, then sorry, then I need to give the URL with the /studies and then the search parameter. I'll explain you what is the search parameter and everything. If you see here in this example, this example, in this example, I'm using the all instance resource, okay, which will query at the instance level. Okay, so here, if you see this thing up to this DICOM web, which is the base URL. Okay, this base URL is defined in our configuration. If we go to the configuration file over here, here I gave it as DICOM web. Okay, this is the base root. Okay, so in this route, so I'm hitting that route on the port 8042, which is running on the local host. Okay, then our URI template, whatever has been defined over here, it has comes into picture here. That is the instance. I am going to get the instance. Okay, for the patient ID for this. Okay, now let's see how can I get the things, and I'll explain you the all the things in the application itself directly. Okay, we'll use the Postman, okay, to retrieve the instances details. First, let's see whether the same patient ID, it is the same patient ID or not. Okay, this patient ID, for this patient ID related instances I want to retrieve. Okay, this patient has one study, and then it has the 3 series. Each series is having one instance. Okay, so how we are getting the details, everything in the response, we'll see it. Okay, now I'll go here. Now I'm hitting the URL. When I got the response as a JSON structure. Okay, so this JSON structure, I'll put it in a JSON viewer, and I'll explain you what is this, what is meant by this and everything. Okay, as I told you here, if we go here, okay, it has, the patient has 3 series. So the 3 series and 3 instances are there. Okay, so here it is at the instance level. So all the instances has been listed over here. First instance, second instance, and then third instance. Okay, so each and every instance have the DICOM attributes. Okay, this first one defines about the which language or which transactions are used. It's ISO IR 100 we are using over here. And if you see here, each and everything it's coming over here. I'll explain you the other parts. This is the study instance ID, and then the patient ID is 10. This is the patient ID. Okay, tag. This is a patient name tag, and this is the patient ID tag. And if you want to see the retrieve URL, from where I want to retrieve it. Okay, if you see here, the retrieve URL is here, which has been defined for me how to retrieve the instance. Okay, which has been defined in the tag 00081190. Okay, now let's use this one to retrieve these things. Okay, so now how can we retrieve? I'll explain to you by going through the next slides. So if you see that Vado RS, it's a retrieve transactions. There are 5 types of retrieve transactions has been defined. One is the instance resource, one is the metadata resource, one is the rendered resource. Next one is the thumbnail resource, and then the bulk data resource. Okay, instance resource is nothing but which retrieves the instance details for us, including the pixel data as a raw data. Okay, and here it will retrieve only the required tags for us, and then the metadata, it will retrieve all the instances for us. Okay, and the rendered image, it will retrieve the rendered object. Instead of the DICOM object, it will retrieve a PNG file or JPEG file for us as defined by in the URL. I'll explain you in the coming things. If I want to get a thumbnail of the image, I can use the thumbnail resource. If I want to bulk retrieve of the data, I can use the bulk data resource. In this session, we are going to see only these three things, which is of more interest for our Firetrack. Okay, now I'll explain you about the retrieve transaction instance resource. Here it defines three resources for us. One is the study instances. We can retrieve all the instances of a given study, or we can retrieve all the instances of a given series, and also we can retrieve the particular instance of a given study or series. Okay, that's the thing I mentioned here over here as an example for this given study and for this given series. In this series, this instance, we are going to retrieve it. Okay, so I'll frame the URL and I'll explain you everything from here. So this is the URL which has been given for retrieve purpose. So I'll take this and then I'll retrieve it. Before I retrieve it, I need to put the port number also over here. Okay, the port number is 8042. Okay. Now what happened? It has retrieved the metadata over here. Okay, I'll explain you what is this and everything. Before this, I'll go to the other slide. Okay, metadata, I'll come to the last, at the last. Now I'll go to the rendered resource. In the rendered resource, we can get the image as a PNG file itself. Okay, so what I need to do in my instance resource transactions, okay, I need to use the keyword called /rendered or keyword called /frames and then the frame number and then the rendered. Okay, this, there is a difference between these two here. Is this is used for the single frame image and this is used for the multi-frame image if I want to retrieve a particular frame of an image. Okay, now let us see how can we do it. I'll copy the same URL and I'll go here and I'll use the keyword called rendered. Sorry, give me a minute. So now it has retrieved the rendered image itself. If we save it, it will be a PNG file for me. This also I'll show it to you. Just give me a minute. So this is just a PNG file for me, which has been stored over here. And the other thing, if you see here in the Postman, the other URL, it retrieves the binary data for me. Okay, here it is the header and this is the complete DICOM object which has come over here for me. Got it? So this also I'll show you how to do it. The programmatically we can do it, but here I want to show it manually how to do the things. I'll save the response. Okay. Now I'll take this response. I'll remove the header. Okay. So this is basically the DICOM file. We got it from the Arthang. So this, I'll show you to this. All these things can be done, will be done programmatically, but here I want to show it manually. So I'm showing it manually for you people. So I'll open it in the DICOM edit. This is the DICOM object what I received, and I can view the image also over here. You are able to see it, and you saw the difference between the rendered and this URL. The rendered one basically it will give the PNG file format. This is basically the PNG file, and here what happened? Here we got the DICOM object itself directly for this. If there are any doubts, just please ask me. This is the difference between the instance resource, okay, retrieve transaction instance resource, and then the rendered resource. Okay, now let's go to the next level. The next what I want to explain you is the metadata. This metadata is nothing but it will fetch all the complete data, uh, pixel data and everything, but it won't get it as a DICOM object. Okay, here it will get it as a JSON file for us. It is equivalent to the search transaction. Okay, so I'll explain you that also. So now let us go here. I'll open one more thing where I'll use instead of this thing. Here I'll do metadata. Okay. So now if you see here, whatever I shown here, right? This all these things. Okay, before what happened, it sent as a for the instance resource, it has sent as the binary data for us, which we can convert it into a DICOM object, and then we can view it in any DICOM viewer or DICOM editor. Okay, but here this one, if you see this metadata, it fetched the complete metadata for us. Okay, so this also I'll put it into the JSON viewer and I'll show you. Okay, that particular instance thing, it has complete structure, it has fetched, and it has fetched the binary data also, and everything it has fetched for you. Okay, this is the difference between the metadata resource and then the rendered and the instance resource. Okay, now let's see any doubts on this. Okay, fine. Let's proceed with the next thing. Okay. Now I'll explain you the DICOM view part where I want to send this objects, the complete object, whatever I send, which I want to view in the DICOM viewer. Okay, so I'll open the DICOM viewer, and in the DICOM viewer, I'll open the folder where I saved it. The images are saved here for us, right? Okay, this folder, I'll give it here. So it has opened this thing. And if you see here, this is the image DICOM object. Okay. And sorry, this is a DICOM object. This is a PR. This guy is not able to render the PR presentation state. This is a DICOM object. And this is the SR report, which is linked with the image. Okay. This tomorrow, Anand will give a complete detail about the SR and everything. He'll go inside of the SR. Okay, now let's see about the another thing. This I'll delete it. Now I'll go to here. Now I'll show you a real AI generated SR object and the related images from which has been sent from the Rthung to the storage CP. It will take some time. Let's wait for a couple of minutes.
Arun, in the meantime, that API what you just showed, there's also possible to filter out the specific tags, right?
Yes,
It's
that
not that
also I can show
always.
it. Yes.
Yeah, maybe can also explain that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll explain that, Anand. Yeah. Okay. What Anand said is the include fields. Okay, the include fields basically what the search transaction will do will send only the specific instances to specific DICOM tags to us. It won't send all the DICOM tags to us. If I want to get a specific DICOM tag in the response, then what I need to do, I need to use the include class as I did over here. Okay, so that one what it will do, it will request when we are doing the request in the URL, it will say that boss, I want this tags also for all the instances which what you are giving me back. Okay, so that is a thing. This I'll explain you. Okay, now let's go to our thing, original thing itself, where the query thing. Okay, here if you see here, I don't have the series description or study description over here. Okay, I'll put the tags over here. I'll put the JSON response. Okay, if you see here in this, there is no series description. The series description, let's see what is the tag for that. I don't buy got the tags. Or you want to have the study description also, we can see it. It's 000810 30 0081030 is not here in this, right? Okay, so now let's see how can I get this tag by using the include field. Okay, so what I'll do here, I'll add that tag equal to 0008 1030. Now this response also I'll show you the difference. Here it is a series study description as came for me. If you see here, I don't get that tag, right? You're able to see the difference between the two things. So like this, we can use the include field for multiple tags. So if I want to get my another tag, for example, series description also is not here, right? 103 it is there. Okay, now let's see the performing physician name is there or not. We'll see it 1050. Okay, it is not there. So the performing physician tag also I want to include in my response. Okay, so what I'll do in my query, I can give comma and the performed physician tag also 0008 1050 0008 1050. Okay, now if you see that my response will have that tag also.
Just to add here one point, this include field. Yeah, hi. Just to add here one point, Arun, is something like this include field is not been implemented by many of the DICOM web. Actually, I mean, it's a specific. All these functionalities. No, it's. I mean, this is a standard. Whatever Arun shows is in that case actually it is supported, but it is up to the DICOM web server implementation. Whoever is implemented that, I mean, serving that, they should implement these include fields. I mean, so should be careful. We should first say that in a conformance statement whether they are really supporting these things or not. Yeah, these options, even though the standard gives, many people doesn't give this include field for. That's what I observed.
It's up to the implementer, right, Murali?
Exactly. Exactly. So
Tag number I put it correctly. 1050. It's not coming right.
So one I would like to say one of the main reason why they couldn't able to implement is usually standard when you do the query, this Kido command or data command. So they video Kido mainly. So they have set of tags. So they will by default they'll send it, right. So, and when you put include field, there's an additional tags which you are expecting to be as send as a response, right. Now what happens is when you really implement a DICOM web, what they do is whenever you parse the image, they'll just put these tags upfront in the database. Now, when you do a query command, QDO command with an include tags, what will happen is this tag will not be present in the database. Now you are forced to open the image, right? So usually people will not implement. Most of people are not implementing these things. That's what we observed.
Because of the cost involved in that. We want
Yes,
to go
cost involved in the query, right? So they say this standard tags are enough. Like,
because they won't have it in their database, they will have it in the physical image. So they need to go on to open the physical image to get the details. So since the cost is involved, they want to implement it.
yes.
So see here, for this also they didn't implement it. For the percentage also, I put the percentage tag over here in the query, but I didn't get the response. I got the response only for the study description. Okay, it's up to the implementer to decide whether they want to serve this tags or not. Thanks a lot, Murali, for bringing this point. Okay, now if you see here, the complete study has been sent over here. We can, I can load the study and I can show you the things in the DICOM view. So if you see here, this is the image study, image series, and then we have the structured report which is associated with this, and this is the structured report which has the reference details and everything. So this whole thing will be explained by Anand tomorrow. And with this, actually, we are done with the session. Any doubts or anything, questions, clarifications we can clarify? Okay.
Thanks, Arun. I think we
Yeah,
can
then-
close the session. We'll
then-
continue tomorrow at 11:30.
Yeah, then thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.